Welcome back. And as promised, we're going to have the artist Laura. I always say Laura because I'm getting too English. But in Zimbabwe, the way we do it is how they would do it in Mexico. Her name is Laura Anderson Barbata. I showed her work last week and she's going to introduce herself. So, Laura, welcome to Junkanew.
Hola.
Hola,
so
hola.
hola, so happy to be here.
Oh, thank you.
My name, you already have it. Perfect. I am from Mexico and I'm excited to meet you. It's been really wonderful to watch all of your transmissions. So thank you for this invitation.
Anyway, I mean, this conversation with you now is just like to compare notes as well as just like really inspire people out there. Jankanu was set up to inspire people, but mainly people who use stuff that protects our environment.
Yes.
So it's a carnival in its own way, but we are sort of shying away from anything that we think would damage the environment. For example, if we're going to have a procession now, I wouldn't expect somebody to bring me a massive diesel truck outside. We'd rather have the samba or the stool pan on the neck or your beautiful Moko Jumbi. So that's where we are. So when we saw your work, we just thought, all of us just thought, more brilliant. We really need to chat with you. You'll be able to inspire our viewers here. So anyway, I think I know that you are based in New York City. Are you?
Yes. I am in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, yeah. And I also noticed you're working with some of the groups that we sort of like admire, especially like Kilimanjaro in Trinidad. So I
Yes.
think I'm just going to read to ask how you normal work, how you do your work, because your work seems to be quite collaborative, but also using a lot of what we are looking for, which is recycled material.
Yes, exactly. I started learning about this work and creating these collaborative projects after a time in Trinidad and Tobago, where I met Dragon Glenn de Souza, who is, of course, the leader of the Mogochbi's Kilimanjaro School of Arts and Culture. And I started first only as a volunteer and doing anything I needed and learned so much from that experience. And today it inspires me still.
Talking about Moko Jumbies, here we are. This is some
Yes.
of your work. I mean, you might maybe just
Yeah.
explain to us what's happening here.
Yes, these are called interventions. And the first images you saw are very closely related to your philosophy. They are made with materials that have been, like, for example, all materials that have been discarded. CDs, I would collect them from offices and schools. Here are textiles from textile designers who make tests, and then they have to destroy them because they don't want people to copy their designs, and they would give them to me so that I could use them for this. So also there's the bags from Mexico that we use in the markets, could be transformed into masks. And so the philosophy is very much aligned with yours. Here are a lot of scraps and materials that came from mass camps in Trinidad and Tobago. We collected those from the floor, from different sewing areas, and put all of these works together.
Yeah, we've shown a lot of some work also from the these Moko Jumbies you work with. I mean, how did that come about?
Yeah.
I mean, did you sort of like run workshops for them, or they came to you and say, let's work together? How did that come about?
I had been working with Dragon and Kilimanjaro in Trinidad and Tobago for about 5 years, and because of grants and support, I couldn't continue going, and I also felt they had grown and I had grown, and we needed to take our experience and what we had learned and run with it, right? It's their project, and I had been designing for them, and so I think it was a good time, and I wanted to work closer in my studio here in New York and in Mexico, and I heard about the Brooklyn Jumbies. One of the members is from Cocorite, and was trained with Dragon, and the other member that is Ali Sylvester, and Naja Codrington was trained under very, very strict and respectful traditions of Chakaba and in Senegal. So he was trained, and they live in Brooklyn and organized a group to teach youth after school programs, very similar to Kilimanjaro philosophy. And so I wanted to meet them. So I would ask all of my friends who are Trini, like, do you know them? Oh, yes, I heard from them. I see them sometimes outside like this, but it was not easy to connect. So they heard about me because they had seen my work. You know, it's a big, small, beautiful world of carnival and Moko Jumbies. So they also were interested, and I went out to look for them. So it took me a while to find them. I found them in the New York Halloween parade. I volunteered, and I saw them and chased them with a card and said, I love to meet you and speak with you. And that's what they are talking about here, I think, a little.
So, I mean, would you say that's sort of like really that's something that's building up in the community, or this is just a special case?
Oh, this is building up in the community. The families are involved. There's more and more children. Now Ali is living in Florida, and he is also training youth there. And our work also, because of the collaboration between the Brooklyn Jumbies and myself, we have also gone to many places to share this knowledge, and then groups are created there that they continue to train. For example, in Fort Worth, Texas, we've done a lot of outreach programs with a theater company there called Amphibian Stage Productions, and they have now started their own still dancing group, led also and trained by the Brooklyn Jumbies, by both Ali, who you see here, and Naja, who is right next to him. So it's a family that grows, and we have also done work in Mexico, different parts of Mexico, with traditional still dancers from Chile and from Monterrey, from Mexico City, where I was born. So it grows.
Right. So the bits I want to talk about is about how you do, because I think for me, I always find it very, very inspiring to see an artist like such as what you're doing, who goes and do their work, and then they realize this work here, I need to have an understanding. Then you go and find the person who's got that thing, link up with them without actually. The thing is, how you do it yourself. This video is a very good example. You don't just go there and say, right, I'm the foreigner, I've come here to take stuff. Because this particular video, I think while I'm chatting with you, won't do any justice. But on here, you can see how much you established a relationship with this group of people, and you actually really start sharing things also. So you're not just learning from them, you're also sharing some of your things. So this is this. You can tell me about this. It's an expedition, wasn't it? It was like an expedition.
Yes. And here we are in Papua New Guinea, and the village is called Boga Boga in Milne Bay is the, and what I felt was very important. You come to visit a place, people want to greet you with dance, and I felt that it was very important to also dance for the people who so generously dancing for us. And they, so you mentioned something muy importante about my work, is that it is about building relationships and having a dialogue. And in this case, I could not speak, I cannot speak the language of the people in Boga Boga, but I can explore ways of communicating through materials I have available and through dance. And if people are dancing for us, I will dance for them. And so when I was a child, I actually used to dance xico for tourists. So I know the dynamics.
Well, you used to dance
No
for
tourists.
tourists, well, like a performer.
Excuse me?
Did you say you used to dance for tourists like a performer?
Like, yeah, I would dance in a small restaurant, and the tourists would throw coins at me.
Yeah. You seen the blood then.
Yeah.
So on here, I think it's also, I know you're so skilled with all the different elements from the Moko Jumbies to other stuff. You know, I even seen you stuff that's to do with like protests in a way. So you've like really done quite a lot. So in this particular one here, when you went to Papua New Guinea, what do you feel you actually learned from there, apart from what you already know?
Well, in Papua New Guinea, there is a very important and part of the community, the Kula Ring. And the Kula Ring is a system of exchange. And the system of exchange creates relationships between islands and families, right? And this exchange is in the way of objects, of things, and it creates very strong political alliances. And also it creates a sharing of knowledge and of use of materials that could be from one place are now used in the other place through the Kula Ring, right? So it becomes a whole network of influences and respect for each other, and so this is what I learned in briefly. I learned so much. I also about the use of materials, the way that shells are being used to make chest pieces and woven together in very, very beautiful, big sound making as well pieces, chest pieces. But the premise, one of the dynamics that to me is very important is exchange. And for example, and I mean exchange of knowledge, exchange of respect and appreciation for each other. So in this experience, we ended up, the people were interested in some of the things that I had made specifically for the dance, my interpretation with the few materials I had available of skirts and things like that. And they said, I want that skirt you're wearing. Can we exchange it? Would you like one of mine? And I was honored because I had something that people could be interested in. And in this case, it's rare for me because it's an experience that to me impacted, and it still impacts me today. And it was a short experience. This was built over a few days. I was actually just one person who went speak with the people to ask if we could stay in the waters overnight, and so started to build this. But my relationships with the communities where I work are years and years working with the staying, even if you're not working, these are real personal relationships that are the most important part, and making connections to other people that between us that can help promote the ideals and values and interests of whoever is involved.
That's brilliant. And also, I think most of our viewers here are people who are really like some of them are, people who are researching carnival and different ways of working because we're encouraging recycling and reusing things. That's why we're
Yes.
bringing people like you here. So if I was this young person who's watching your young artists, watching what you're doing, what did you advise them if they want to sort of carry your path?
I would say don't throw things away, and there's beauty in so much. And I also believe that is a metaphor. For me, it's become a very important metaphor that in our societies, we discard so many things, so many ideas, even people, because they're not valued. And so the metaphor here for me is finding the beauty and the way that different things that have not been appreciated can work together and build something new that is even more powerful and surprising than whatever is the dominant aesthetic or feeling or values, right? So there's a lot of layering of metaphors, of meaning, of valuing, but especially it has this effect if you are taking care of everything around you and valuing things that are being discarded, you can also value more and more the world around you and inspire other people to do the same. So I would say just make things.
As you do.